An upheaval of nature tears loose a creature out of the nightmare of time.
Welcome back, my fellow agents, and it certainly does. It is I, X7, your monsterific master of mayhem, or master of monsterific mayhem. Take your pick. I don't mind. X7, the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. And while we've certainly had a fun time with Special Agent Frog here yesterday, today it's just me solo. Story of my life. But we are going to talk about one of the movies Sven Gulli aired last week, The Monster That Challenged the World, which is one that I never did see growing up. I didn't see it until I think TNT was showing it on Monster Vision in the early to mid 90s, probably more than once. It's from 1957, and it runs 88 minutes. It was released by, who was it released by? United Artists. So we're going to talk about that and grab yourself your hummus of perfection and your preferred delivery method. Please like, share, subscribe, vote in the poll, and watch a few minutes if you're watching on YouTube, or if you see the video on Spotify. Really helps the algorithms. We'd really appreciate it. Like and subscribe too. I'd really appreciate that. The YouTube channel is doing wonderfully. I really appreciate all of you all my recent subscribers. At some point in time, we're going to have to figure out, maybe when we hit a magic goal of, we're already over 100, so maybe 250. Be that as it may, let's watch a little more of the month. Well, we're not going to watch it, but we're going to see more of some pictures and a lot of ad mats and some behind the scenes shots, just cool stuff.
Spawned by an earthquake on the bed of the ocean, a reptilian earth-shaking beast of the sea, the monster that challenged the world.
I don't think that's reptilian. So there's the title card. It's kind of bland, but it gets the point across. Although if you look at this font here is kind of as much. I mean, that says monster that challenged the world. This one, that just says monster, not monster. But our stars are, let's see here. That is Tim Holt, who was a Western star, as you might have guessed. And he was also in Humphrey Bogart's, with Humphrey Bogart in Treasure of the Sierra Madre in 1948. Apparently, he was a very nice man, and Audrey Dalton, who we'll see next, described him as the most unactor. What'd she say here? Very quiet, decent, very nice man, most unactor actor she'd ever worked with. And speaking of Audrey, there she is. She's the one who gets menaced the most by these molluscs, as they're called. They're not reptilian at all. Once again, ads lie. She was, I don't know how much she did here. She was an Irish woman born in Dublin. She was born on a Dublin street where the royal drums do beat. She started working in 52. She was also in anything else? Bob Cummings show. I don't see anything. The Aquanauts was a TV series, not just the swimming team your humble agent swam on in the early 70s. Oh, Mr. Sardonicus, Perry Mason, of course. If I had that sting, I'd have played it right now. I can steal from Sven Gulli. Kitten with a whip. All right. Okay, so she's been in a lot of stuff. She's the female lead. Here is little Mimi, not Drew Carey's Mimi Gibson as Sandy McKenzie, Gail McKenzie, who was played by Audrey Dalton, and Tim Holt played Lieutenant Commander John Twillinger. This is Mimi. She is very young in this picture. She was not. This was 57. She was born in. When was she born? It doesn't even say. She was pretty. Doesn't give her. She was an actress from 1951 to 1968. She was in My Three Sons. That was one of her last ones. Let's see. Let's look at her filmography here. Blink. Anything we'd have seen. She started in 51. She was 8. She was 3 in 51. So she wasn't much older. I mean, she was 10 in this one. Let's see, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, pardon me. World Without End, uncredited. 10 Commandments, the Blind One's Granddaughter, right, a year before this. So she did well, and she's very good in the whole movie's cast well. This, of course, is the wonderful, come on, let me go back, wonderful Hans Conried, who was the voice of Uncle Waldo and Hoppity Hopper. The thing about the frog that Jay Ward did. There you go, frog, another shout out. And did many other things. 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T. Was he in the Twonky? Let me look here. No cartoons. He was both Captain Hook and Mr. Darling in Walt Disney's Peter Pan. Traditionally, Captain Hook and Mr. Darling were the same actor in the play as well. Aurora's father in Sleeping Beauty. He was the pose for it. I don't think the voice went to Taylor Holmes. So he hosted lots of Walt Disney episodes as the Magic Mirror, from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So Make Room for Daddy. Where's his dang filmography there? I'm looking here. Come on. Holy crap. I Love Lucy. Yep, the Twonky. I'm such a genius. So he was in lots of things, just a very talented, charming man. I believe he was also did some voices for Rocky and Bullwinkle, but don't quote me on that. Those are our major actors. There are the two of them together when they were both younger. I'm sorry, the picture's a little fuzzy, but...
My tank. What's wrong? Blake's tank is caught in the undergrowth.
Couldn't even tell you what language this is. It looks like French a bit, but my French is awful. But I love the picture, the poster here. So here is one of the actresses being just very friendly with the monster while it's drooling. Now, the actors the special effects artist that built the monster and did it was not Carlo Rambaldi, as one might think, because I certainly did, because it acts like one of his, but it was Augie Lohman, who worked on The Lost Continent, 1951, of course. The Maze, did effects for Barbarella, Soylent Green. Ted Hayworth went on to win an Oscar for Sayonara in 58 and did Some Like It Hot, Flight to Mars, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I thought there was another one here. The Monster That Challenged the World, 57, directed by Arnold Levin, who I don't have any idea what else he's done. Probably lots of Rifleman, among other Westerns. Television directing. Doesn't really... Why doesn't one time I want Wikipedia to have more information, it doesn't. The music was by Heinz Erich Romheld, who, it's partial filmography here, all Quiet on the Western Front in 1930, so he was obviously very busy. This is one of his later movies, Lad, a Dog, Mr. Ace. I don't know that I've seen any of these. Sorry, dude. But it's a full-size prop. I don't know if there were more than one built. I would think probably, but look at that thing. There it is, giving little Mimi a hug. She looks rather pensive about this, but she's probably hanging on for dear life. You don't see that if she's on the floor or not. So these things attack in Salton. It's set in the Salton Sea in California. There's a fabulous documentary about that that you can watch. I watched, and the Salton Sea is a very unique history, but it's well named. The monsters come out of that. They filmed it all, and then of course they start eating people, and they have to figure out how to eat them, or just not the molluscs. I suppose they could. It still looks like a bug to me, but they live in water. So it could be, the sea scorpions were big, 10 feet, back in the Devonian. But so that's the whole crux of the movie. It's quite it's quite well done. It's well shot. He did a great job directing, and the cinematography is nice. It's well edited by John D. Farrar, and it runs 83 minutes. Cost a whopping $200,000. There's no way it couldn't have made money off this. It's a good little thriller. The monsters are fun. So here is a picture we're going to see later in color from a publicity still. The monsters in there, and there's our heroes, the military, and everyone looking at it, talking about it, and saying, "What will we do with it? Oh no!" Hans probably wants to save it because you could learn so much from it since it's allegedly from the dawn of time.
Ah, what happened? Oh my God, his body. He died right in front of me. I couldn't help it. Let's go back. Talk sense. What's down there? I don't know. I never saw anything like it before. It's the size of a dinosaur and 10 times more terrifying.
Well, if it were real, yes, it would be terrifying, 10 times more terrifying because it would be in front of you. But as far as the size of a dinosaur, a small dinosaur, well, not bigger than a medium-sized dinosaur, like say a Deinonychus or a Utah raptor. It's a little bigger than that. Plesiosaurus, we'll say that. It's smaller, but I'm drawing a blank. It's only about, if it's 15 feet long, I mean, it raises up to about 8 feet high, but you never see the back of it, I don't think. There he is, Commander. There's old Twill himself.
Hurling the horrors of the unknown at every living thing.
Yeah, well, that's not the greatest. Shrinkify it. It looks better shrinkified, doesn't it? I think this was just colorized. Bleh. Because look, there's pastels here. Nobody wore pastels in the 50s. Well, not like that. There we go. Apparently, this is not the actress. Sorry, lost her name again. Audrey. It was the woman who got killed right away, but they're obviously having a good time with these productions. It does have like a big old foot in the back to move it. So, see, if it's 15 feet long, I'd be amazed. And obviously the shell looks like it has a shell back there. That would keep it grounded, especially it's probably where all the movables, the mechanicals are to keep everything moving. But it's a good looking monster. It was very prominently featured in monster books, monster magazines, because these are great pictures. Here's a little behind the scenes. So it's on a spring and they're fixing things up. They probably had to repair them constantly. These are probably the two gentlemen I mentioned earlier, but this picture did not tell me what it was. So sorry about that. I'll put two links, or a link for the movie for Wikipedia and then one for another place called sci-fist.net. It was reviewed just about a year ago. And it's got a great review and talks more about all the actors in it. So where are we going here? Next, there's another This is the British one sheet, Certificate X, so nobody under 17 or 18 could go see it. I forget at this point in time which age it was. Little moment of levity there that doesn't deserve the screams. Obviously, the romance, though Twill is probably a little older than Aubrey's character. The movie itself was was written by David Duncan, and he wrote penned screenplays for The Time Machine and Fantastic Voyage. His original working title was The Jagged Edge, and then the screenplay was renamed The Kraken, which would have been an interesting thing, and then it was finally retitled to The Far More Exploitable Monster That Challenged the World. It does no such thing. It challenges Catalina, which is where it was filmed, or the Salton Sea. And here's that color picture, screenplay by Pat Fielder. I believe Pat was an anomaly there as a woman. She wrote 4 films for Gramercy, and then wrote Geronimo, and then wrote several episodes on The Rifleman, and contributed to a large number of popular TV shows such as Policewoman, Charlie's Angels, and her last assignment was writing for the sci-fi miniseries Goliath Awaits in 1981. So then Arnold Levin. 11. Let's go next. There it is again. This is just it's probably a TV ad mat, which is, it looks like it's terrorizing the city, but it's not. So here is the monster menacing both Gail McKenzie, which is Audrey, and Sandy McKenzie. This was a drive-in movie, Sandy. Little Mimi, little Sandy does not seem nearly as terrified of it as she was when it was holding her. So this is toward the end here, where they figure out how to destroy it. Mostly they battle it off with, here we go. Our hero shows up with a fire extinguisher until Hans Conried as Dr. Jess Rogers shows up and with a bunch of Navy men, and they shoot it dead. So I don't even know how many there are. Does it say? There's a giant egg. So yeah, it looks like a giant caterpillar. There's several mollusks. Oh, and they use explosives in the middle of the movie to destroy them. But this is the end of the movie here. So let's get along here. Bink. It was released with the vampire. It claws and drains your blood. It's real. It's alive. Well, it's not neither of those really. But that would have been a good. See, I told you, Sandy, it was a drive-in movie. Once again, I never did see it, but boy, those pictures always in the famous monsters or monsters of the movies sure made me want to see it.
The most blood-curdling monster of the age.
Look at that. Definitely blood. And this is the campaign book, or what we know as a press kit or press book. That's the only one part of. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's a little more of it. Exploitation. To make use or gain benefit for one's own profit. So there's all fun stuff here. I love all this kind of things. I'm glad this one of the good things about the internet is you get fun stuff like this. So the critter is unique, although it does remind one of a big bug more than a mollusk. And it moves pretty well. You can tell it's still a mechanical. Here was the first home release of it. Obviously a Super 8mm from United Artists. I don't remember. See, you would think that was a bug. I mean, you wouldn't say, oh, that's a sea creature. You'd think that was a bug. A giant millipede or a giant centipede would be just as terrifying. Look at the black scorpion. And then it was released on VHS, which I don't ever remember seeing. MGM did it. So I got this. Nope, that's the music. You can get the musical score if you want to. Heinz Romheld. And there, I had this DVD set. There is a Blu-ray out, released by Kino Lorber back about several years ago, and I don't remember when, but the prices for it are like 80 or 90. It's ridiculous. I mean, I like the movie, but I think I still have this. Maybe? I don't know. I know where to find them. But it's a good movie. I highly recommend it. It's a fun night. It's, 88, 82, 83 minutes, so it doesn't take a lot of your time. Sven showed it in two and a half hour block, which is a little overkill for me, but they didn't ask me, and I always enjoy it. The fun stuff where they talk about the actors and actresses that were in it. See, here's the Blu-ray cover from Kino Lorber, which is very interesting. Once again, very misleading. This would have been an AIP film there, but looks like it would challenge the world. Still, it's a bug. I mean, prehistoric bug, but a bug nonetheless. I mean, didn't even have any pinchers to grab hold. It just you had to get next to it for it to menace you. But there it is, my fellow agents. A review. I did like it. It's quite a good movie. And on that note, this is until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off.